an amazing Thursday, Friday Junior. What's up, family? So look, y'all, I wanted to get up here real quick. I know lately I've been kind of going live sporadically. I don't really have no consistent time. So what I will say to you all that, be like, hey, when you going live and trying to tap in. I hope that, you know, at this point you've figured out that you need to probably turn on your notifications because I'm just going live at different times, y'all. I don't really have no set time to go live. Um, but welcome to all 6 platforms that are in here. Please forgive me if I'm looking all the way around. I'm trying to get used to this new camera setup thing with all these different cameras. But for those of you, this is your first time on my live. I go by Zabo103. I'm the dude that get on these live platforms and information that you normally would pay for. If I know what you're getting for free, at least for now. The other thing I would say is one of the things that I will that I will say that I've been tapping into lately is what's up, family. I've been trying to provoke thought, really. I just want people to, I ain't gonna say I want people to think, but I think people should want to think. It's been pretty interesting over at least from what I've seen over the last week, all the different events that have transpired, whether there have been good events, bad events, tragic events, whatever it is, just a lot of different events. And I'm calling them events because that's just how I see it, y'all. A lot of people have been, sending me DMs trying to get me to go live to have these conversations about these different events. And realistically, yeah, I don't think the juice worth the squeeze, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, the last live that I was on, I was trying to do my best or articulate to best of my ability, right? Um, how you got to avoid the distractions. And unfortunately, no matter how big or how tragic the event is, I got to be honest, y'all. If it doesn't have a direct impact on you, it's a distraction, y'all. And I know that when you one of those people that's starting off your journey trying to be focused. What's up, family? And you're trying to stay focused, it becomes extremely hard not to get distracted, especially by things that would, um, pull on your heartstring a little bit. So, for me, what I typically do is, especially when it comes to going live, just so y'all know, when different events happen and I don't want to be pulled into it, I just don't come live. I'm gonna be honest with you, because it just doesn't make logical sense. One of the things I will tell you that I did on my journey, because my journey, when I started going down this process on building wealth, on getting out of my rat race, on how to stay disciplined on the decisions that I made, uh, yeah, a lot of that stuff I just blocked out. Now I know people like, but you was on social media back then too. Yeah, but it would just be me posting. I'll post and get off social media. That's just what it is, y'all. It's not suggesting that that's what you do, but it's saying that I knew what my limitations were. So I kind of stuck into what I knew to be true to me and what I felt, right? The other thing I would say is that while I'm calling all these different things distractions, because that's what they are, you can't really lose sight on what's really important to you. And if you are going to be inundated with all these distractions, you need to figure out very quickly in that problem that you saw or that you ran across, that you strolled across, that you read, or whatever it was, whatever the distraction was, figure out how you can make it a blessing in your life. And I know that sounds crazy But I'm a firm believer that in every problem, there's a profit. So the reality of it is, you got to start really paying attention to your inner you. And if you haven't got in front of that mirror just yet and had that tough conversation with yourself, what are you waiting on? You got to make this stuff happen, y'all. The world is going to turn regardless if you do anything or not. You can say you're going to do something for the next 40, 50 years. The world's still going to turn, whether you do it or not. Me, I'm one of those people that realistically I try to stay focused on what the focus is. Anything outside of that, it does not matter. With that being said, a couple of things that we getting situated. I told you all that last time I was on here we were finalizing pretty much the design and everything that we needed to complete when it came for that 20,000 square foot home that we building on the 41 and a half acres land. What I will tell you is that a lot of things that we thought were important that we wanted to have, we realized we don't even do that stuff today. It was kind of crazy. So we started taking stuff out, putting stuff in, and it's becoming a little bit nuts. But we're at the end of the road on that. That'll be finalized hopefully by the end of this week. Once that's actually finalized, we can kind of get ready to get on to the next step, which is obviously breaking ground on the 41 and a half acres of land. We got a few months before the top of the year anyway. So I'm going to take y'all on that journey. So y'all are more than welcome to see what it is from start to finish. I will be breaking down some of the costs so you can see that too, just to make sense out of it. So you're not, if you decide to do something similar to it, you're not going into it blindly. Because one of the things that I notice is anytime you're looking at a person or somebody, say for instance, somebody channel for the most part, and they are sharing with you where they built their own home on their land and they done all this other stuff, it's normally like, all right, I bought me 2 acres of land, or I bought me an acre of land and I built my house, right? And that's basically what it is. At least that's what I'm seeing on these different channels. Anytime I get to a place where I'm looking at like we're building on 41 and a half acres of land. Anything above 10 acres of land that you try to find somewhere on the internet or somebody building a estate from the ground up, it don't necessarily exist like that. And I'm sure that these things happen. Maybe they're just not documented on social media anywhere, which I guess I understand to a certain degree, but to another degree, it's like, why not share it? Just to make it make sense. You don't have to show people obviously the whole ins and out to your property, which I agree with that. But some of the basic things, um, for me, I just wish that stuff was online, so at least I could see it firsthand before doing something to this magnitude, right? What I'm realizing is that a lot of people, they just go and they just buy their home already built and they got land on it. And while that's not the worst thing in the world, it's definitely, um, how can I put this? In the short term, is definitely the obviously the quickest way to do it. That's number one. But in the short term, you're getting a ready-made product already. You can just move in and start doing what you do. But going through the process the way I'm with me and my wife about to go through, it's a little time consuming, but it'll save you a bunch of money. And I don't know why people don't do that. Like it always blow my mind sometimes when I see people that have quote unquote money and they go buy them a property and say the property is $2 million and it's not and it's barely sitting on an acre of land. I always scratch my head sometimes on why they do it that way. And I built houses like that before, you know what I mean? Where we didn't build a house on an acre or 2 acres or five, whatever it is, but never nothing at a massive scale. And I don't understand. It's like For that same $2 million, man, I can go take me 200 grand and go get me 30, 40 acres. And I can take realistically $1.8 million and build me out a crazy estate, right? Which is kind of what we're doing right now. If you haven't figured it out, right? And that's the part where it's like, I don't know. I just got to try to make sense out of that, y'all. And I know I'm on a little bit of a tangent right now, but I'm only sharing it to get you to understand that all these other distractions that are out there in the world right now today don't even matter. In fact, there are going to be 100 million more distractions before November. I hope y'all understand what I just said. There are going to be 100 million more distractions before November. The reason why you see all these distractions, y'all, it takes your time away to think about what's really going on. It takes your mind to a place where you can't focus on what's the real agenda with this? What's the real agenda with that? You gotta start to understand, and it's not some form of a conspiracy theory, because that's not it, right? It just, when are we gonna start using common sense for this stuff, y'all? At some point. Everything is going on up under the sun to distract you right now. I got on social media today and I saw some stuff and I was just like, oh, this is wild. I can't even believe they showing this on social media. If I say the wrong thing, I ain't on social media no more. You telling me I can watch a whole video? These are the things I think about. And I might be wrong, y'all. That might be a little selfish of me. That might be a little self-centered. I don't know. But think about what I just said. The stuff that you can see on social media, you can't even say it, but it's a video can be played. Make that make sense. Somebody help me understand this. I don't know. I'm going to leave it alone because every time I get to talking, things change. So again, I'm coming from a safe place. This is all love. Everybody's welcome. I ain't punching down. I'm just over here showing love, people. I just want you to think a little bit. Today is Friday Junior. A lot of y'all get paid tomorrow. Let me say that the appropriate way. Tomorrow is Friday. A lot of us get paid tomorrow. When is that going to stop going over people's head? I don't know. You got to figure out how to start living your dreams or you're going to help somebody else build theirs. That's just the truth, y'all. That's the honest truth. You got to start living your dreams or you going to help somebody else build theirs. Period. That's not something that's, you know, you just saying that just to be saying it. No. Every day you go to work, you help building somebody else's dream. Somebody that you probably ain't never even met. That's the truth. But nobody can make you buckle down to do what it is that you really need to do unless you want to do it. That's the truth. I had a young man on here hit me up about that 10-year plan, and I kept saying, man, look, I finally had to say something. He just kept sending me there. I'm like, geez, this dude is relentless. I had finally had to say, listen, man, it ain't even really a true 10-year journey that you have to take if you just start doing what you know you're supposed to be doing, man. What does that mean by that? You're a single man with no kids. The only thing that you're responsible for is yourself. You don't know how to start no business because you ain't been in business. You don't know nothing about it, but you want to do it, but you think you need all this capital. Right now, you're trying to do this 10-year plan. Man, why are you only working one job and then going home chilling? Work two, work three, work four. If you can't go out and start a business and start generating you money, why you only got one job and it's just you? You say that you want this. Well, I ain't trying to work myself to leave this planet. Well, unfortunately, going the route that you're going, you're still gonna slow work yourself off this planet. I don't know what it is about. I understand the microwave concept, and no, that's not what I'm saying. But you got to try to get wealthy as fast as possible. And I know it takes time, people, but you got to do this process fast. You got to get there as fast as possible because the reality of it is, the longer it take you is not because you just going through the process is going to take you that time frame. Most of the time, you just procrastinating. That's the truth. Now I know it's kind of random on the East Coast out here at 4:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and people ain't off work, and I'm already talking reckless a little bit. I'm trying to get people to think, and I ain't really trying to get you to think. You got to try to get yourself to think. I can't help you do nothing. You got to help yourself. The motivation is great, sure, right? Being inspired by some things is great, sure. But that's not what it's really about. It's really about what you gonna do. It was mind blowing to me today. I was talking to this guy that's actually gonna do our well system, and he was, and I'm oblivious to some of this stuff, y'all. It's like I don't know. So when I get into places where I be oblivious, I ask a bunch of questions, and I knew I was getting on this guy's nerve today. I had to be because I asked him so many questions, it didn't even make no sense. He telling me that okay, he gonna dig this well. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm telling him, hey, we need 3 wells. He's like, you really don't need three. You just need really one, two tops, depending on what you're trying to do. I'm like, man, I want three. So he explained it to me why we only needed one. What's up, family? And why we possibly can do two. And I'm saying to him, if I want three, charge me for the three and give me what I want. So he's like, all right, whatever, let's get past that. So he started talking to me about, the water coming in from the well, it being clean and yada, 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 yada. And he told me as time goes and the area where your property is at, as the area grow around you, the well water is gonna get dirty. And I couldn't understand it at first because I'm slow. He's like, the more people that you have that move into the area, the crazier water can get. So the closer you get to city water, the worse your water is. And he started breaking out all this stuff. I was like, man, I felt like I was in a science class, all these different letters and different things. And I'm like, man, I don't know what none of this stuff means. What are you trying to explain to me? Better yet, what are you trying to sell me? Just tell me what you're trying to sell me and tell me what's the benefit. There's a great chance I'm just going to say, I don't care, man. Whatever is the best, that's what I want. So explain to me this concept that I really never paid attention to. Like when we was in Mexico, we didn't drink the water, right? Now, we took a shower with the water, right? Maybe if we got ice cubes out of the refrigerator, that's the water too, right? Then I thought about it. I said, when I'm at home, I don't really drink water out the faucet. I ain't drunk water out the faucet since I was a kid. He said, I know. And you shouldn't, because the water ain't the best coming out your faucet. Even if it's city water. It blew my mind when I really thought about what he was trying to share to me. Then of course we got filters on, you know, all the different things in the house, but that's not the same as having that. And I don't want to mess this up. A reverse osmosis system that threw me off. It threw me all the way off, y'all. I didn't know what he was talking about. But when he explained it to me, you can have water coming in to your home and go through this system, and the water will be so clean you can drink the water out the toilet if you needed to. I said, well, that sounds like a waste to just have it going when it's still clean, right? So, yeah, somewhat, but you have control over it. Now, I'm explaining all this stuff, y'all, because again, I'm trying to get you to understand how lost I be sometimes when it comes to certain things, which should get you to understand we ain't no different, y'all. If it's something you don't know, it's just something you don't know. It is what it is, y'all. But after he finished explaining all this stuff to me, what I understood was I don't need three wells, I only need two. That's what I understood. And I understood not only do I need that osmosis system and that filter system on both of the properties that we're putting out there, I also need to add that osmosis system in every property that I have, no matter if it's connected to the city or not. That's what I realized. Now, I thought when I went in there, I was just going to get one price, even though it's a good friend of the family, it's his nephew, right? And he gave me an amazing deal on his well. He also gave me an amazing deal on all this other stuff too. Why is this stuff important in 2024, boys and girls? The reason why this stuff is important is because things are changing, and they're changing extremely fast, faster than fast can actually be. While everybody's out here worried about who they voting for, what they saw on social media, who done got in trouble again, who relationship is going down the drain. Life is lifing. Like these are things that are that are vitally important to you that you're not paying attention to because you're distracted with all this other stuff that ain't got nothing to do with you. Zero to do with you. It's like every day when I get online and somebody else DMing me about who you're voting for, who cares? Just go vote who you're gonna vote for and leave me alone. And let me vote who I'm gonna vote for and leave me alone. Because my question is always gonna be the same. In 2016, when the young man, I'm calling him a young man, came into office, how was your life better from 2016 to 2020? And when the other young man came in 2020 to 2024, how has your life been better? If your life had been better, stop talking to me about this stuff that don't even help you. This stuff is wild, y'all. And for all y'all good, clean community activists, shout out to y'all. I got love for y'all. Appreciate what you do or what you don't do. But stop talking my ear off about what I need to be doing and just do what you need to do. Leave me alone. I just want to be left alone. It just is what it is. And that's the part that's the truth. When I look at what's that, uh 785 million people in this country, and over 200 million of those people don't ever vote. They don't care one way or the other. I'm gonna put a bug in y'all ear. I'm gonna put a bug in y'all ear. And no one really wants to hear this, but the truth is the truth. And the truth can never be considered disrespect. And before I say this, I'm coming from a place of love. The laws are written, they're written out for wealthy people. It's not gonna matter who's there because the laws are written out for the wealthy. In fact, the people who you decide to vote for are wealthy. If you haven't figured it out yet, you think they're going to put something in place that's going to hurt themselves? I'm listening. So, for all y'all good, clean, wealthy people, y'all good, clean, poor people that's trying to fight for different sides on what it should be and what it ain't, the laws are written for wealthy people. Period. So, what does that mean? If you so concerned and so passionate about who you should put into place, your very first priority would need to be become wealthy. Why? So you can benefit from your party being in there. I mean, I'm not the sharpest marble in the bag, but come on, boys and girls. You got to think a little bit. Why do you don't ever think or see on social media or anywhere wealthy people debating, arguing, fussing, and fighting about who going in office? They don't care. They're laughing. Why are they laughing at it? Because it does not matter. Here's the scarier part. Fun fact, because I know we got some smart people in the audience. And I just want to ask a question. I don't know how this stuff works, but I've been told that you go to the polls and you vote, right? And your vote goes into the bucket of the popularity vote, right? That's what I've been told. I could be wrong. And then those people that's called the electoral colleges, who y'all don't know none of their names, I was told that they are the ones, the 538 people that determine who wins. I was told those people, whoever they are, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to be quiet because I don't know. I have no clue who those people are or what's going on. And that's the part that's scary, y'all. You're so distracted by all this nonsense that you're forgetting you're poor. How can you forget that you're poor when after you get done arguing and debating about all this stuff, you go back into your same situation and you go into the same routine every single day? I don't know how you can forget it. I understand. You in survivor mode, and when you're in survivor mode, you can't think. So what am I saying on this good clean Friday Junior? Think, people. Stop focusing on things that don't impact you. I'm not saying don't go vote, y'all. Go vote. Your vote matters. Go do what you do. But stop telling other people what to do when you haven't even figured out how to tell yourself and make yourself do what you need to be doing. You're not convincing anybody. That's the truth. Think of it this way. Some of y'all about to get off work. Some of y'all about to make this ride home in rush hour traffic. It's almost 5 o'clock. Unfortunately, and we're gonna prayers out to everybody involved in possibly this situation. There are gonna be accidents on the road. Hope everybody's safe. But you're not gonna stop to make sure they're safe. You just gonna keep going no matter how tragic the accident look. You're just gonna keep pushing. Why? Because it's a distraction, y'all. You ain't stopping on the highway when you see that 18 wheeler with that little small little Kia wrapped around the back of a bumper. You ain't stopping. The appropriate people that need to be over there handling is over there handling it. What do? You mad at the person that's rubbernecking. You wish they going on about their business so you can go on and get on the way you got to get on. That's how you need to be reacting to all these distraction, boys and girls. If you haven't figured it out. But that's the truth. And I know we're on a place of social media and you can't really share the truth. So let's share some garbage. Did your favorite quarterback for your team get drafted? How's LeBron doing these days? How's LeBron Jr. doing these days? Ain't no more hip hop beefs going on. Man, I can't believe that Mr. He Did It got all these accusations, all these suits, and he ain't been clink clink once. I saw that thing with old boy out there on the west coast of that Tupac thing. They locking him up some more. We can talk about that. What y'all think gonna happen to him? Come on, y'all. Think. Just think for a second. Life is about decisions. And the decisions you make, you got to live with it, boys and girls. There's going to come a time where you're going to wish you made better decisions. I'm hoping that you never have to go through that. I'm hoping I never have to go through that. That's why every decision that I make, I'm making it based off of my bloodline, 100 years down the line, 200 years down the line, 300 years down the line, 400 years down the line. Why? Because I'm trying to make the best decision that I know how to make. That's what I'm putting all my energy into these days. I can't think about anything outside of that. Why? Because I made the sacrifice, y'all. I made the sacrifice for my last name. And that's just the truth. I can't think about somebody else's last name. They got their own cross they got to bear. I got my own cross I got to bear. But the decision that I made today is going to have an impact in 2,524 based on all the information that I have today. Why is that important to me? Because I'm on this long journey of figuring out the best way for me to become immortal. And until you, the person, take whatever journey is that you need to take to live out whatever vision that you want to live out, nobody can tell you how or what to do to get there other than you. All of this stuff is already inside of you. period. There's not a book you can read. There's not a mentor, not a coach, not a course. It's all inside of you right now. And I used to be afraid of these things, y'all. Thinking like, man, I hope I can meet somebody. And when I meet that person, they're going to be able to help me. Uh, they're going to be able to help me get to the next level because it's about who you know. Think. Think about that for a second. It's about who you know. And it's really not. Because, well, let me not say it's about not who you know. It's about you knowing yourself. What do you put on this planet to do, people? You're put on this planet to serve other people. If you're put on this planet to serve other people will bless you. That's the truth. When you get caught up in this thing called money, you're going to have a hard time. And the reason why you will hear me say this over and over again, money is not real. Money is only a tool used to make more money. I hope you understand what I just said. If you're having money issues today, you're going to have money issues tomorrow. When you take money out of the equation and no longer have money as your issue, you'll stop having money issues, period. Well, how do I take these money issues that I have and take it out of the equation when Georgia Power want money from me? When Sprint want money from me? When Citibank want money for this car? When Publix want money for the grocery? People, you have to change the way you look at money, period. It's not yours. You're only holding it to give to the next person. Now, who you give your money to, you can make those decisions as you get it in your hand. But the reality of it is, it's only in your hand long enough to give to the next person. Period. You want to get out of your rat race forever having bills again? You want to get out of the rat race from ever having bills again? Make a public entity and make a private entity. Now I'm saying entity, I might be using the wrong word. I went to night school, it ain't dark yet, so I might be a little off. But make a public entity and make a private entity. If you make a public entity and a private entity, you can get rid of your bills. Now, I know that sounds kind of awful when I say it, but the reality of it is you can get rid of it. Debtor to creditor to credit? Not quite. How do you make a public entity? Start a business. Start a business. Once you start that business, you have a public entity. How do you make it private? Go get your trust created. Go sit down with an attorney, specialized in trust, estate planning, create that private entity. Now you have a public business and a private trust. Now with that thing, you have money that we all have. Do I got some money in my pocket? Oh, I might have some money in my pocket. Do I got some? Oh, I got a $20 bill in my pocket, y'all. Money. I'm gonna show it to the camera, and I'm gonna read it. Uh-oh, is it on that side? There we go. Down at the bottom. Y'all see that in fine print right there, right? Y'all see that in fine print, right? Right there, right? I'm gonna show y'all too. I'm gonna show y'all too. Okay, y'all see that, right? Money. On the front of your money, you can read it if you got money in front of you. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. This note is legal tender for all debts, public, private. It's on your money. You want to get away from your rat race? You want to get away from bills? You want to get a different perspective of money? Start operating in public and in private. How do you do that? Go create your public entity and a private entity. What is a public entity? A business. What is a private entity? A trust. So if this is used for all public and private debts, where did your bills go? You got bills in your business and you got bills in your trust. Because that's what this is used for. It's used for business and trust. I don't know another way to make that simpler. I have no clue how to make that more simpler than what I just did. And I don't know why I ain't thought about how to say it that way a long time ago, but it came to me today. Think. What's up, family? That's what this stuff is all about. It's about using this note, which is a legal tender for all debts, public and private. It ain't saying nothing about personal. It didn't say nothing about bills either. It didn't say nothing about no credit. Think. Think about what I just said. Imagine this thing right here that you calling money, it is debt. Think, y'all. You just got to start wrapping your brain around these things that you think don't make sense. Appreciate your family. But these things make sense. It's really that simple. I can't even, I don't know another way to say that, y'all. So while you distracted on what's going on social media, I went out today and figured out how to take that debt and give it to the next person. And the person that I gave it to today was a landowner for 26 acres. I'm going to say that again. Now, I got to go to closing, but that's a whole nother situation accepting my offer. But we going to close on another 26 acres. So I'm going to take this debt that I just showed you. This is going to be included in it. I'm going to take this debt and I'm going to trade it in for 26 acres of land. I hope you understand what I just said. Now, when I go trade it in for 26 acres of land, I might do something a little bit different. Because these last couple of months, I've been thinking about, I want to build out a resort here in the state that look like the resorts out there when we go all these different places out of the country. Now, I know 26 acres is a lot of freaking land to make this resort happen. So I'm going to take some more debt and I'm going to start the process of building out the structure of the resort. Why am I going to do that? To make more of this? Because the only purpose of money is to make money. Well, you said this is debt. So let me say it a different way. The only purpose of debt is to make more debt. So every time somebody say, man, you got to be careful, man, Uncle Sam going to get you. I'm giving Uncle Sam their debt. I'm going to give Uncle Sam his debt. It's his, it ain't mine. You say, but for who? For everybody that need a vacation away from their real life. You know how you go on vacation? Because you want to get away? Man, I'm so burnt out, I need a vacation. And you pay to go sit in somebody else's building and in somebody else's yard. I hope you just heard what I just said. You pay to get away from your life to go sit and sleep in somebody else's building and then go out into their yard for relaxation. And you called it a vacation. Think about that for a second. Imagine how many people you didn't heard say, man, I want to go and just get away to somebody island and be in paradise. That's somebody crib in somebody's backyard. Think. Think. So the thing that I'm doing with this whole 3 wells, we didn't, we didn't extrapolate down, got everything out that we need to have out, put our stuff in. We're building a vacation on them 41 and a half acres of land. Think about what I just said. We're building a vacation on them 41 and a half acres of land. Why am I doing that? Because I understand that when I go to these places that y'all call a vacation, they're not vacations for me. They're business trips. We're on location, not vacation. When I'm at the house, at home, that's when I'm on vacation. So when you hear me say things like, I have a 7-day week every week, 365 days a year, I'm on vacation all year. And then when y'all see me, like y'all saw me in that 6,300 square foot penthouse in Los Cabos, Mexico during the 4th of July, y'all like, you on vacation? I'm not on vacation. I'm on location. Business trips. Think. Appreciate you, goat to goat. Every time I leave the crib, I'm working on business. Shh. Think. When I'm at the crib, I'm telling you I'm super lazy. Why am I telling y'all I'm super lazy? Because I'm always on vacation, y'all. I'm on vacation right now. Now, I'm conducting a little business with y'all because I'm giving y'all information. Because Zabo 103 is also one of my businesses. I just need you to think a little bit, y'all. Just for the sake of argument. Think just a little bit, like don't scratch your head too much. You want to get out of your rat race? Start thinking differently about what money really is and what money is used for. Hopefully you caught that. I hear you, family. Perspective, though. Imagine that. You don't need a trust for your business, not for real, unless you're making some major bread. And think of it this way, because I know you hear people on social media all the time. You got to have a trust for your business. You got to have a trust for all this different land you got. You got to have a trust for this. You got to have a trust for that. Your business is public. Your trust is private. I'm going to say that again. Your business is public. Your trust is private. The minute you take your public business and you put it inside your private trust, you just made your public business private. Hopefully you caught that. Your business is always public. What you're speaking of is a foundation. Hopefully you caught what I just said. What you're speaking of is a foundation. And in order for you to get that foundation set up appropriately, just to set it up, you talking about anywhere from 65 grand all the way up to about 100 grand. It'll cost you to have it properly set up. Now I know somebody gonna say, "Nah, you can go fill out the paperwork yourself and do it yourself, and it ain't gonna cost you nowhere near that amount." Sure. You also can go out and try to put stitches in somebody's arm, and you ain't never went to medical school. That's the truth. You need your business to stay public, people. How you think your business gonna get to the next level if the public don't know nothing about your business? It's public. When you're buying land, you're making a decision. Is it for public use or private use? If it's for private use, it goes in one of your trusts. If it's for public use, it goes in your business. Public, private. Think. Just think for a second. Your business is public. And I know I'm about to get 101 people gonna hit me in the head with all this, but you don't want to pay taxes. Taxes is a by. Let me say this again. Taxes is a byproduct of you making money. If you don't pay no taxes, that means you didn't make no money. I don't know another way to put it. If you earn a income, you're gonna pay taxes. If you don't earn an income, you're not gonna pay taxes. I hope y'all caught what I just said. It don't get more simpler than that. Um, I don't think so. You got to remember, y'all. Even if you got your business in a trust, guess what, boys and girls? If somebody got a little bit of money to play with, you know they can tap into your trust, right? If they got a little bit of bread, they can tap into your trust. There ain't too many judges that'll pierce that level, but if you got a little bit of bread, they can tap into your trust. Most people won't go into the most people won't go to the extreme of doing that with the idea of maybe it ain't nothing in your trust. So think about it this way. If your business is private, what you hear most people talking about is it just simply means that the business is not publicly traded. You said unless it's a foreign trust? Hmm. How long have you had your foreign trust? I'm just curious. How long have you had your foreign trust? And tell us the name of it so we can look into it. Tell us the name of your foreign trust that you have, that not the name of the trust, but just tell us the name of the type of foreign trust that you have so that we can look into it. You said shortly? Okay. We'll be patient. You'll come back with it. So you have a foreign trust, but you don't know what kind of foreign trust it is? You got to go Google it, or you just started it? Oh, okay. So here's what I would suggest from me to you. Don't start sharing things with people to the masses if you haven't already done these things and you kind of know the in and out that you can share it. And the only reason I'm saying it is because you might be pushing something that you don't even know that you're about to walk into yourself. And that's the truth. Okay. If you know somebody that's doing it, we don't, no disrespect to you, but we don't care. We're talking about what you're doing. And that's just the truth, family. I mean, the stuff that I'm sharing on here, I'm not telling y'all what I think. I'm telling y'all what I do. And I can tell you, as a person that's been in and out of the country, has looked at, things abroad, including trust, they're pretty much set up the same way. The only difference in between the two, this is my, and I could be wrong because I don't know everything. If you get into a place where you don't have taxes, some people might say, well, that's a benefit because you're not taxed on all this stuff. Well, the stuff costs 3 or 4 times the amount. It costs 3 to 4 times the amount for that product that you're going to buy when you could have paid less than taxes. Yeah, yeah. I, it sounds like you're about to get wrapped up into some type of product, and realistically, family, I ain't even gonna go down that path with you. It don't matter whatever platform you're on. I'll if I see the comment, I'll tap it. I'll answer it if I know the answer to it. I mean, they could. I mean, it won't have your personal information on it, so they can call your trust whatever they want. They can call their trust whatever they want to call it. Let me say it this way, y'all. Let me make sure I got this. Make sure y'all understand this, because I want people to, before people get all off into this what ifs and what about and all this other stuff. I just want people to think a little bit, right? Watch this. If you have money in a trust, it's just a checking account with the trust name in it. That's it. It's just a money in a checking account in the trust name. Oh, okay. So make sure I got this right. And Miss, I guess, oh, Jacquees. Okay, cool. Let me make sure I got this right, family. Because again, I'm coming from a place of love. I ain't punching down. Everybody's welcome. But let me ask you a question. So you got a trust in another country, right? And you got the paperwork from the IRS and from the government here in America? Maybe I ain't understanding that right. Maybe I read that wrong. Let me say it out loud again because maybe I read it wrong. So you got a trust in another country, but you got the paperwork and the forms from the IRS and the government here in America? Am I hearing that right? Yeah, I'm lost too, family. I might have missed the response. Oh, paperwork for non-taxable entity by the. Okay. Yeah. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, family. Best of luck to you. I hope everything work out for you. Once everything work out for you, then come back. If we live, I'm live for whatever reason. Keep me updated. I want to hear what goes on with it once you get fully in it. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. I'm curious. But back to what I was saying is, listen, y'all. Everybody in the moment think you got to have all this different stuff in your trust. You got some insurance policies that's going up in that joker. Um, you got land that's going up in that joker. Maybe you got some other things of value that needs to be private that need to go up in that joker. But other than that, y'all, everything else is public. What's up, family? Everything else is public, y'all. Anything outside of that, I know you hear all these things about you got to have X amount of money going into your trust to keep your trust going. Like you got to have all this money going into your trust to keep feeding your trust, keep feeding your trust, keep feeding your trust. And if you have like some trust fund babies who ain't ever gonna work in their life, yeah, you got to have money going in there to make sure they can live the way you want them to live. But for all the people that I've, that I not that I've met now, because I done met some wealthy people now, but all the people that I've known in my lifetime before this life, right? I mean, I'll be honest with you, nobody's independently wealthy like that. And where you starting at, could you get there? Maybe. It's possible. But what I will tell you is, if we're just being honest, if you want your trust to keep going, if you're the one working and grinding, making the things happen for your bloodline, just make sure everybody that you taking care of got policies. And everybody that they take care of, as soon as they get ready to start taking care of them, they have policies. And all those policies are going inside the trust. We all leaving this planet. And as each party leaves the planet, the trust gets funds to make more money. Make more money, buy more policies, buy more land. Hopefully, y'all understand what I just said. Your trust really don't need no money, y'all. And I'm saying, while you on the planet, your trust don't need no money at all. Because you're the one working. You're the one conducting business. You're the one that's funding this whole operation that you're trying to set up. I hope that you get that picture, right? Because that's the part of the puzzle that most people miss. So let me give you an example. Say for instance, and I'm gonna use an example. Say for instance, you got a policy of $1 million. Let's call it $2 million, and you leave this planet. That $2 million is going to the trust. Hopefully you got that. Remember, if you got money inside of a trust, it's just a checking account with the trust name on it. You can go open a bank account and put $1,000 in there, and it can be your trust checking account. Today, you can do it for $50. Now, of course, you got to fill out all the stuff yourself. But if you got trusted advisors and you got $1,000, you can open up a trust checking account. Y'all do know this stuff, right? Go get you a trust, and then you just go to the bank, whatever bank you bank with right now, and say, "Hey, I got a trust set up right now. I need a trust checking account." I would say go through an attorney. Can you do it without one? Again, you can do a lot of things, but that attorney gonna have more insight, especially if that's what they do. That's just the truth. But let me go back to my example. Say you got $2 million policy on yourself. Your wife got a $2 million policy on her. Your spouse got a $2 million policy on them. Your kids got $1 million policies apiece. You got 3 kids. Watch this. Now you're working. You don't need no money in the trust. You on this planet. You conducting business. The only money you are putting in your trust checking account is a small percentage so the trust can pay the trust bills. What bills do the trust have? The roof over your head is private, so it goes in a trust. And you don't. I hope y'all just caught that. So if your bills come out to $2,000 a month, they no longer your bills because the trust own the property. So the trust got $2,000 a month in bills. That's $24,000 a year that the trust need an account to pay the trust bills. Well, you're conducting business publicly. The business gonna have business expenses. The business gonna have taxes. The write-offs are between you and your CPA, ain't got nothing to do with me or your tax attorney. The rest of the money left over is going to 2 places. A percentage going to the trust checking account, so the trust can pay the trust bill, because you ain't got no bills, remember? The rest of the money left over is going to zero, buying land. Everything's taken care of. So when you leave this planet, what's going to be the difference? Well, the business is conducting business even when you gone. Who's the beneficiary of the business? The trust. Whoever the successor is going to take over that business at some point. As their person takes over that business, say you leave and your spouse take over the business, because your spouse is the actual successor. Your spouse gonna conduct business like it's been doing anyway. It don't matter. The business gonna conduct business. The business gonna have expenses. The business gonna have taxes. A percent's going to the trust checking account to pay the trust bills, and the rest of the money that the business made is still buying more land. The $2 million that went into there from you passing away, guess what that money is doing? That money might decide to go buy a whole bunch of rental properties. Say they don't go buy no land because you got this thing going with your business, and say the trust decide to go build $2 million worth of rental properties. Go build 10 rental properties. Put 10 tenants in there. The trust paid for it cash. When that money come back in, it ain't taxed because you got to get that return on capital first. So that money coming back to the trust every single month until it gets this $2 million back. The trust don't need no money because the trust bills are already paid. So what's happening with that money? As soon as the first grandbaby is born, a big old insurance policy is going on that grandbaby. And that grandbaby is instantly a trust fund baby, and that grandbaby getting a stipend. Well, the grandmama don't need no money because the grandma is the one conducting business. The grandma got land. The grandma got a nice insurance policy. The grandma got trust. They parents don't need no money. They got land, they got businesses, they got trust, they got insurance policy. What this infant gonna do with money coming back? That $2 million coming back. What the infant gonna do with that money? Nothing. Buy more land. You get it? This is the reason why. Gotta have that insurance policy for sure. But this is the reason why you be driving past these properties for years and years and years, and there'll be nothing over there but trees, and ain't nobody ever did that with it. And then mysteriously you see them do something with this land, and you're like, they finally did something with that land, or they sold that land. That ain't what happened, y'all. RIP to the person that passed away. Don't make this stuff more complicated than what it is. And I understand, as people on this planet, people don't know this stuff. And I'm not saying that's the only way. But I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I done saw a lot of things in my lifetime, and I done a lot of different things. I ain't never seen something this simple before in my life. It was so simple when I very first saw this, I thought it was unreal. It was so simple when I saw it that I said, it gotta be a catch. And then when I actually moved forward and did it and saw this stuff work in real time, I said, oh, this is crazy. Yeah, physically see this land. You know, you've been around playing this land all your life, they ain't did that with it. When that trust got when the trust was the beneficiary and got that bread, that's when they decided to do something with it. Think. But this stuff ain't pretty. This stuff ain't pretty at all. It ain't something that's gonna get you a whole bunch of likes on social media. It's not something that's gonna make your family think that you're balling. It ain't pretty, y'all. It's a process that you take when you're truly working for your last name and not your first. All the rest of this stuff don't even matter. It's like shout out to, I think it was Jaquez. Shout out to Jaquez with the foreign trust thing, right? And I'm assuming you're moving abroad at some point, or maybe you're not. I don't know. But it'd be so many people that you got to move out the country for what? You're taking your whole family out the country. You're taking your whole family out the country. I had a joke tell me, man, it's best if you move out the country with with everybody. Well, I ain't moving out the country, and if everybody ain't going, what? I'm doing it for last name. So if I'm not taking my whole last name out the country, why am I doing that? That's the reason why you're doing this stuff, right? For your bloodline, for the people you say you care about and love the most, right? You did all this stuff abroad, and you ready to go. You got your passport. You're getting ready to get your own dual citizenship. You got everything in place, and your son don't even have a passport. Your daughter ain't got a passport. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. I hope you get what I'm saying. Say trustee only have limited power. You are the beneficiary. No, you're definitely not the beneficiary. You might be the guarantor, but not the beneficiary. Not even close. I will hope you're not the beneficiary of it because you're probably going to put yourself in a bad situation. I mean, I'm sure you could, but again, think about what you're saying. Okay, you're going to start a business in another country. Are you going to dual citizenship? Or are you going to renounce your citizenship in this country just to be in that country? Is your business going to generate the money that you think it's going to generate to sponsor you? I'm just asking logical questions. I can tell you in the UAE, I think if you make less than 100, if you have a business over in the UAE and your business sponsor you, you can be over there for however long you want to be over there, as long as you work in your business, right? As long as you make under $114,000 a year, it ain't taxed. If you make over that, the person is going to get taxed. Now, are you going to renounce your citizenship? But the other piece you got to ask yourself, now the UAE was a little bit different. But it was interesting what I saw over there. Just like it was we was over in Turks and Caicos, the UK. That was interesting too. With no taxes over there either. But I was having a conversation with our driver that was over there, Frank. Shout out to Frank. He be on my lives too. I appreciate y'all with tapping in, Frank. Shout out to Frank that had a fleet of Cadillac Escalades. He had the same model as I had, a 2023 Cadillac Escalade. I said, yeah, man, I paid 140 grand cash for mine. He was like, it's way more than that over here. I said, what do you mean? He was like, well, we don't have no taxes, but it costs an arm and a leg. So what do you mean? He said, you probably spend 2 to 3 times that amount to get that vehicle over here. I said, for real? He said, yeah, any country where you're going to be in a place where they ain't paying no taxes, you're going to pay 2 to 3 times the amount. They got to get their money. What do you thought? Think. Think. And that's the part that I want people really to wrap their brain around. So my thought process when I hear people and I see people talking about the things they want to do in their life, I always ask the question: you're in America. If you can't do it here, you're gonna be in trouble in these other places because you think it's difficult for you to get ahead and do what you do here. Imagine when you get to a place you got products where they don't consume. You in the country where the most consumers are at. So you're gonna go to a country where they not consuming these things, and you think you're gonna be successful? That's not how that works. Wealthy people get wealthy in this country, and they decide to live the rest of their lives in other country. I hope y'all understand what I just said. Because I can tell you right now, the product that you're selling right now here in America, think about the country you're going to and ask yourself, can you sell that product there? I'm waiting. I'm listening. And most people do what? They go to places where there ain't nobody there. Where ain't nobody around. What people would say, I don't want to live way out there. That's what happens in real life, y'all. But it is what it is. Nobody will ever hear this. Nobody will ever understand that. But what I'm going to keep telling you is if you know why you ain't doing it, that's the truth. If you know somebody else doing it, I'm going to ask the question again: how many hours a week they work? And I know everybody don't want to be like me and be lazy and don't work. I don't want you to be because I'm lazy. I don't like working. But if you're telling me I got to go spend 40, 50, 60 hours a week sweating, losing my mind, appreciate it, go. Losing my mind, working like crazy, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing it. Ever. I'm busy that day. For sure. I'm busy. You can put it in the books, write it down, take a picture. I don't care what you need to do. I'm not doing it. Here's what I do know about being out the country. If my kids decide to go abroad, They can, they got access. They decide to deal with citizenship somewhere and renounce their citizenship and start a family in these other places. They have all the autonomy in the world to do that. And when they get over there and start doing what they're doing, if I'm on this planet, I'll start operating that way. But for right now, I'm going to keep taking them to all these different countries so they can see what they like, what they don't like. They can do what they want to do. That's just me. I leave the country all the time. We just got back in the country. I didn't say I leave the country. I said we just got back in the country. Think. We go out the country all the time. Think of it this way, y'all. Well, I ain't gonna say think of it this way. Let me say this. Charity starts in the house. If you can't make it in your own backyard, it's gonna be tough to make it in somebody else's backyard. Not saying that you can't, because you can do whatever you want to do. But if you can't make it in your own backyard, it's gonna be pretty tough to make it in somebody else's backyard. They have an advantage. They know the landscape. You don't. You're guessing at best. And the time that it's taking you to navigate in somebody else's backyard, you can be to accomplish what you need to accomplish in your own backyard. The place that you're in right now, it ain't that bad, y'all. I promise you it ain't. But I get why people do it. Like, I don't want to call no other places out. But imagine you going to a country where realistically it's cheaper than cheap. And you can afford to get off the ground and do what you need to do there. Hey, do you? I ain't mad at you. But what I did see, which I thought was pretty interesting, there were a bunch of places, other countries, that you can go to, and you can lease the land for a certain amount of time frame, but you couldn't own the land. That was mind blowing to me. I didn't understand that. And I kind of get it, I guess, because if you're not maybe a citizen there, maybe that's why. I don't know. But it was weird. I thought that was mind blowing. And then if you don't have the right protection in these places that you're going because it's cheap, might be using that insurance policy sooner than you think. Uh-oh. All I'm saying is don't play yourself. This stuff ain't that complicated, y'all. Imagine, just for a second, I had this guy telling me, and I know it just made me thought about that. It was kind of funny. But I had this guy telling me about how he gonna start his business over. I think I don't want to say what country we're gonna start this business over in this country. And I was like, well, okay, well that's cool. Like you're gonna do it over there? Like that's dope. It's like when you gonna go over there? He's like, I plan on going over there in like 3 weeks. Oh, okay, that's gonna be dope. You have fun, check it out, and see everything. And then once you check it out, you're gonna start your business over there. He said, yeah. I was like, what is your business again? He said, well, I haven't started it yet. Okay. So you don't even have a business over here in this country? No. So your very first business you're going to start it thousands and thousands of miles away. But you're not going to officially move to that country? So you want me to believe that you're going to start another business in another country. You're not going to permanently live in that country. You're going to hire people over there to work for you where you thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away from it. And this your very first business you're starting? Sounds good. Let me know how it go. What am I saying, boys and girls? Stop the cap. You're using talking points, and it ain't necessary. Because I ain't got to live with the results of the decision that you make. You do. You do. You do. You do. You do. You got to live with the results of the decisions you make, not me. But it ain't got to be telling me that because it's a good talking point and you think it'll be an interesting conversation just to have. I'm not in the business of wasting my precious time over things that ain't impacting me. Where they do that at? It's called a distraction in my book. Don't be distracted by the nonsense. You can play yourself as long as you want. You can allow other people to fool you if you want to let them fool you and tell you that they're doing well. I like to see it in real time. If you're gonna tell it to me, I don't mind me, don't mind me. I'll tag along with you. Let me see it. I want to see. Think, y'all. Money is not real. Hopefully you caught it. Paul. That's kind of funny. Money ain't real, y'all. The minute you understand that, then you'll understand some of the stuff you hear about these wealthy people not paying taxes. They're not paying taxes because they don't have no money. They don't have money to pay taxes. Money is not real. The idea of you paying taxes with something that ain't real is unreal. The focus is time. The focus is time. It's a great question, Nikki. That's the focus. It's time. Even though money's not real, money is the byproduct of having time. Time. The money that you have in your account right now, I want you to think about that for a second. The money that you have in your account right now, the money that you have in your checking account, your savings account, maybe you got a brokerage account, the money that you have in the account, hell, the money that you have in your house, the equity in your house, right? The money that you have in an insurance policy, the money that you have wherever it's at, it ain't real. Watch this. Watch this. All the money that you have right now is not yours. Now I know that's talking out of both sides of my neck. So I'm gonna say it again. The money that you have right now belongs to someone else. You don't believe that, right? Let me give you an example. The money that's in your checking account right now, how long has that money been sitting in your checking account? Has it been sitting there for a few days, a few weeks, a few months, some years, all your life? Every dime that you have in your checking account, your savings account, your brokerage account, you're giving it to someone else. And when they get it, they're giving it to someone else. Nobody has money. The equity you have in your house, until you use your credit or sell it, sell the property to get the money, you don't have it. But as soon as you get it, guess what you're doing? You're giving it to someone else. Sure, bank definitely lend to someone else. It's a lending institution. When you got your paycheck, what you did with your money? You gave the money to the power company. You gave your money to the grocery store. You gave your money to the gas station. You gave your money to the people who you paying your car payment to. You gave your money to the little vacation you went on. You gave the money to the mall, Amazon. You gave the money to somebody else because it wasn't yours. You're only holding money to give to the next person. Now you make a decision on who you want to give it to, but it ain't your money. You giving it away. You're doing the exact same things that the bank do. The only difference is the bank's smart enough to understand that the money that they're getting from you, that they're giving to someone else, they understand that they're only giving it to make money off of it. You're giving it just to give it. You and the bank doing the same thing. The only difference is poor people believe the primary use of money is to pay bills. Wealthy people understand the only use of money is to make money. Bank, use your money to make money. So the money that you gave to the bank, they're making money off of it. It don't belong to the bank either. Just like it don't belong to you. They're just making better decision on who they give their money to. Uh, but we gonna show you again, just for the new people came in. This thing called money. It ain't real. It tells you this. It said this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. You ain't got no sound over there? Why not? Might have to go back and come back in, family. I know I've been on here for a good little while. I'm gonna wrap up with this. These lives that I'm doing, I'm starting to move further away from saying how you do it, how you do it, how you do it. We've been talking about how you do it now for the last 93 weeks straight. How you do it, how you do it, how you do it, how you do it. Right? Can you hear? Can y'all hear me now over here on TikTok? Put a one in the chat if y'all hear me on TikTok. Okay, cool. But I'm moving further away over the last 93 weeks of going live. I'm moving further away from how you do this because explaining to people how you do it doesn't help you. And the last 92, 93 weeks that I've been going live have proven that because I didn't share a lot of information on how you do this. What I realized is that I gotta start explaining how I got out of my funk, how I shifted my way of thinking, how I maintain my way of thinking, how I don't focus on distractions, how I stay focused on the bigger picture. And the reason why I have to explain those ways on how I got my mind ultimately in the right place is because that's where people are stuck. That's where people are stuck. That's a good way to look at it, boss. But teaching you how to fish is mentally. If your mind ain't right, imagine for the last 93 weeks, if you go back and look at those lives on YouTube at Zabo 103, I've explained how you do it. Over all those lives, I've explained it 100 times on how you do these things. That's the truth. Not only have I explained it, I've went live and showed you in real time doing these things so you can see it in action. I want you to think about that. Mindset, people. Your mindset is what's holding you back. It ain't nothing more complicated than that. YouTube, Facebook. My live stream is about to end over here because my battery's about to die. I don't have my charger down here with me. The replays are going to instantly go up on Facebook at Zabian Gibson or YouTube at Zabo103. Riff, Rumble, you're in the same boat because it's feeding off of this one screen down here. So it's gonna drop on me because I see that it's the battery's dying over here. So y'all can go over to Instagram or TikTok at Zabo103, and you'll be able to continue to live because I'm probably gonna be on for like another 20 minutes or so. So y'all be able to tap in with your boy. So I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. But head over there, Zabo103 on TikTok or IG, and you can view the remaining of the live. But the replay is going to instantly go up. All right? Peace.